first one is the big O notation, and it is denoted by big O. It is denoted by big O. Then what is basically big O notation? When we have only an asymptotic upper bound, that is, we are given a function, and for this function we are finding only the upper bound for the function, then it is denoted by big O notation. For example, if we say let there is a function fn, okay, where n is any input, which is basically an asymptotically positive function, then we can say if there is a function gn, which is acting, which is basically, you can say, which is also an asymptotically positive function, and which acts as an upper bound for function fn, then it is denoted by like this. Okay, that is, we say that for fn function, gn function is acting as an upper bound. What does it mean? It means that how can we mathematically define it? We can say that big O of g of n is equal to fn, such that you can say there exists a positive constant c and input n naught, such that you can say 0 is less than equal to fn is less than equal to cgn for all n greater than equal to n. What does this refer? This is basically the mathematical definition of big O notation. We simply say that if fn is an asymptotically positive function and gn is also an asymptotically positive function, then if gn is acting as an upper bound for fn, that is, basically this notation is used to find the upper bound, asymptotically upper bound on the function, then we denote it like that. For fn function, gn function is acting as an upper bound, such that if there exists a positive constant c, that is, there is basically a positive constant c and an input n naught, such that if I multiply gn with the constant c, then the value of this function is always greater than or equal to the function fn for all input n which are greater than or equal to n naught. That is, what does it mean? That if you understand by diagrammatically, you can say, let's say if there is n as an input, for example, if you are solving an array, then n is the input, then I say that if this is basically your function fn, okay, if this is your function fn, then you can say that for this function you can see that, let's say there is a gn function. If I multiply it by the constant c, then for the input n naught, after this input, the value of gn function is always acting as an upper bound for fn. That is, it is bounding the function fn with the upper bound. For example, if I say let there is a, as the function is basically positive function we are taking, let's say if there is a, for example, function fn which is equal to 3n plus, let's say 4, okay, and I have to find an upper bound for this, and let's say there is basically a gn function which acts as an upper bound for that, then by opening this equation you will notice that 3n plus 4 will be less than or equal to c of gn. Let's say if I take the gn function as n, then you will notice that 3n plus 4 will be less than or equal to c multiplied by n, if I am taking gn as n. Then for what constant, as mathematically you notice that this is a simple inequality, you have to find the value of only c and the value of n naught, for which this value is always greater than or equal to this function. You will notice that if I take the value of input n as, let's say, 3, if I take constant as 4, let's say, for example, I am taking and the input if I take, let's say, as 4, then you will notice that this value will be 16 and this value also will be 16. Then you will notice that if I take input less than 4, then for that value, this value will be, the fn function value will be greater than the gn function. Hence we can say that for this function, you can notice that gn function will act as upper bound for the constant, it is basically the minimum constant 4, and for all input greater than or equal to 4, this equation will be satisfied. In this way we basically calculate the big O notation. Just simply remember that big O function, is acting is only used to calculate the upper bound of the function. That is, it is bounding the function fn by the upper bound. It is from the upper it is bounding. Okay. But one thing remember, that this function does not tell whether the function gn, which is bounding the function fn through upper, is how much is basically a tighter bound or loose bound. That is, for this equation, you can notice that if I am considering this function only, you will notice that if I say the fn function is 3n plus 4, then this, for this function, this is basically an upper bound. You notice that for, if I take the constant c is equal to 4 and input greater than equal to 4, then this equation is satisfied. Okay. Other than that, you will notice that if I take this function instead of linear function, if I take a quadratic function, then also it could act as an upper bound. You will notice that if I take the constant c is equal to 1, let's say, and all input greater than or equal to 4, if you take it, then this equation will also be satisfied. Because when you open this equation, this will be in the form of this, then 3 and 4 will be less than or equal to cn square, c is 1 and n square. Therefore, if you take the input 4, this will be satisfied. Also, if I take this equation, then this can also be acted as upper bound. That is, I want to say that for a linear function can act as an upper bound. Other than linear function, with the other functions which are of higher degree than linear function, that is square function, cubic function, and with the power of 4 function, all will act as an upper bound for this, for a particular constant and for a particular input greater than or equal to 4, for a particular input. Notice that this is basically one answer. Other than that, many answers could be calculated. Big O notation basically tells the upper bound. It does not tell how much tight or loose bounded it is. Then you will notice that if I take this equation, then you notice that these are basically known as the loose bounds. These are known as the basically loose bounds, and this type of bound is basically known as the tighter bound. I will say that this is basically the asymptotically tight upper bound. These are basically asymptotically loose bounds. Okay. Now coming to the next notation. The second notation is basically omega notation.